I was just saying with the government contract that I have with the local housing authority, which, that they're over all of the low income communities in the
Okay.
city that I'm in. We've been having a lot of storms. So one of my responsibilities, of course, by me having the roofing contract, actually had a roofing contract. I have the contract for doing their siding work, soffit, fascia, basically all of their exterior repairs or replacements. So like anytime we have storms, I got to go out and inspect. So I go out and inspect and I give them results that I'm finding when I'm doing my inspection. So we had a hailstorm, I believe it was in April. We had hail up to 3, 4 inches in some areas. So it was a pretty big storm, and it was widespread. It was all over the city. I went ahead and had my guys to start inspecting every unit in all of the communities to document any hail, wind, whatever damage, etc. So after supplying that information to them, now I have to move forward with a lot of these roofs are older anyway. They haven't been replaced in 15, 20 years. So they're already upon that time that they need to be replaced. So I'm in the process, as like we were talking about, is about to start tackling roof replacements on. It's probably, how I'm foreseeing it's probably going to end up being all of the roofs that have not been replaced are going to end up being replaced.
Okay. And this
Um,
is an apartment complex, right?
yeah, this for the projects.
Okay. Okay. Oh,
Yeah, for all the low
right there.
income housing community, which we refer to as the projects. They haven't
Right.
a lot of areas they've updated or they the older style, the brick style, they've torn those down and went to the townhome kind of
Okay.
style, but they haven't done that yet. There's one community that they've been discussing doing that with, but they haven't moved forward with that as of yet. So still just the basic projects, but at the same time, definitely a great contract is to have
Okay.
when you got that volume. And that's one thing that I've always talked about in the videos is with roofing, contract work, period. In my, like we discussed also, I don't just do roofing. You got to find those ways that you can connect with one source, and through that one source, they got all types of volume as far as work. The housing authority, they probably have 800 different units. 800 different units within all of those communities.
Okay.
So
How would you say you set up with that contract you have now?
there are all types of government agencies out there that have open bidding. Basically,
Okay.
the one that I got, it was an open bid. So
Okay.
out of
Gotcha.
everyone that bid for the contract ended up winning those contracts. I was awarded those contracts based off of everything, P bids. Basically, in that process, if you're bidding for something, they'll post the information out to the public, so everybody has the ability to see it and submit a bid for it. And then you get your bid packet, and the bid packet gives you specific details on everything that has to be submitted by a specific date. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Can't be a minute after. And
Right.
everything that it says in the packet, you have to include. You have to include. So yeah, there's like I said, there's a lot of different government agencies, local agencies. That's basically when you're dealing with public funds or that type of money, they have to have that process in order to give everyone basically an equal right or equal ability to be able to go out and bid for those contracts. So that's what I did in that situation.
Okay.
But to answer your question too, like with me, this is something that I already have been thinking about since I first began doing this. This was one of my ultimate plans was to have a contract of this nature because, like I
Okay.
said, having that type of relationship with someone.
Mhm.
See, I don't have to go out and chase so many jobs when I have that one source that's providing, multiple opportunities for me based, within that contract.
Yeah. So basically, the jobs are coming to you through that contract. So
Oh yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah. That's pretty amazing how you can start off by getting single jobs and then work yourself up just to open that pipeline more. Yeah, to have jobs, attract jobs to you.
And having
Pretty,
that vision is key because you know how we always talk about things and being able to create things from just the ideas in our minds and then putting
right.
that work that's necessary with it, being patient, being efficient, being disciplined. And exactly what I wanted is how I got it. I also just recently got the HVAC contract with them as well.
Okay, for the
Mhm.
same buildings for
For the
some
housing
older.
authority. Yep.
Yep. Okay. Okay.
So
One
with those
contract
types
after
of
another.
contracts, yeah, yeah, those
Right.
types of contracts, I could really put my focus on just tackling the assignments that they have. And for a business owner, just having that process, that I mean, it's key. It takes a lot of stress. It takes a lot of headache out of having to go out here and have a whole marketing plan to attract new customers, new jobs. I've been through that process before. I've been through that
Right.
process on the build up initially. So it's a lot more involved in that, of course. So yeah, definitely. I'm gonna hype up those contracts, the contractual work, getting with property management companies, apartment complexes, schools. Even when you have your school systems, the school systems, they also have a similar process to the one that I just discussed, where everything that has to do with the school system, they have people that cut the grass, do the roofing, HVAC, pressure washing, providing supplies, materials, yearbooks, everything that school system has that's provided. They contract all that work out. You just got to know how to tap into and do the proper research to see what's available in your particular area and put yourself in position, basically.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So this is something someone could get into roofing sales and possibly run up on other contracts through just one industry
Oh
that
yeah,
they're looking at. Home
yeah,
improvement, basically the whole umbrella of residential and commercial improvement. Yes.
yeah. You'll be
Yeah.
surprised, man. There's people I've seen, folks that may have a $30,000-$40,000 contract for pressure washing.
Okay.
I've seen a
Wow.
company in Florida. I was down there taking certification training, and part of it was on RFP bids in that process. And it was a
Okay.
company in Florida that had a pressure washing contract with the school system for $200,000.
Okay. Pressure washing. 200,000 a year
Yeah,
for
for
pressure
just pressure
washing.
washing. Yep,
Yeah.
and
Contracts.
and they probably only do it once a year at the school or whatever the details, the specifics of the contract is. It ain't like they pressure washing every day. It's not necessary to pressure wash it.
Yeah, makes
You know,
sense. Makes
yeah,
sense.
they had contracts doing the kitchen restaurant hood
Mhm.
exhaust cleaning.
Exactly.
Yep. You might do that once or twice a year and have a six-figure contract. And then in the schools, they're not cooking as often. It ain't like a restaurant where they're cooking from open to close. At schools, they're just cooking during those periods. It's not hard work, but you can find a way to get a cool little contract, come in, do your work. See, those are the kinds of jobs you can, or trades that you can do and do by yourself. You don't necessarily have to get out here, build up a team. No, you don't have to do all that. And that's key that people need to understand when they're thinking about businesses that they want to start. If you are just coming into the game, just jumping into your craft and trying to turn that into something that you can generate a revenue stream off of it, but that what you're trying to do is tied to you having to have a big team in order to do that and build that up. You got to take that into consideration before you shoot your shot. Not to say that
Right.
you should take that off the table. You want to you give yourself a better, like for me, for example, you already know how I started out with the lounge, the club, the restaurant, doing that. See, that's something that you have to have a large team. You got to have
Right.
security. You got to have waitresses, bartenders, cooks, DJs, promoters. You have to have a solid team in order for something like that to be successful. And shoot my shot with that. The next time I shot my shot, I was like, I gotta figure some things out that I can do and pretty much just rely on myself. That every day and give myself time and opportunity to build up. And then as I need to pull in additional people, I can slowly develop my team versus day one. As soon as I'm starting, I got to have a team to do this. You know what I
Definitely.
mean? Yeah.
Definitely. And I know you said those are a couple side hustles or full-time gigs if you want them to be that you can do with by yourself without a team. And we mentioned overhead cleaning, vent cleaning. Could you just explain that for those that don't know? Explain exactly what it is and qualifications it might take.
Yeah, basically, any restaurant is required to have a suppression system. Basically, what that suppression system does, or a kitchen exhaust system,
Okay.
and it does two things. Say if a fire broke out in the kitchen, then the suppression system will automatically activate and shoot chemicals down that would put out a fire. But then also the exhaust system, what it does is it sucks or filters all of the elements in the kitchen, any debris, any embers, anything like that. It filters that through the ventilation system and out through the roof. Restaurants are required to have that if you're cooking, and you're also required to have it cleaned depending on what type of fuel they're using and depending on how often they're cooking. They have a specific schedule. You have some restaurants, say 24-hour restaurants, Waffle House, they're cooking all the time. They're going to have their ventilation system clean more often than, say, the school systems, like I mentioned. So it's, of course, since it is required, it's a high demand industry for people that are providing that service. So I'm actually certified. I've been certified in that for maybe about 4 or 5 years as well.
Okay.
But yeah, the certification course probably took a week, 2 weeks for me to complete that, and the low overhead for you to get in, and it's something that you can do on your own. You don't need a team to do that. And then, and the same equipment that you need for that, you could also just do pressure washing in general. And that's another hustle or a trade that we talked about that you can do on your own. You don't have to have a team to go out there to do pressure washing. You can easily take your time, build your motion up to where you're doing jobs. I still pressure wash. I still do that from time to time on the side. And I have jobs I might make 300, anywhere 350, 550, just for doing one job.
Pressure washer. Right.
Yep. And that pressure washing job, it could probably take 4 to 6 hours, or a little bit more, even if it took me all day to do it. Making $350 to $550 in one day just for myself. You know what I mean? That's good money.
Definitely.
Yeah.
How much different jobs when it comes to the overhead vent cleaning? Those jobs, what price range or what would you charge for those jobs?
It depends. Because like I said, your 24-hour restaurants, your barbecue places that use wood for cooking, those are a little bit harder to clean. But you could make up to $2,000, $2,500 per job on those as well. Every job is different. Every job is different. You may have a job in the process. You also clean the exhaust system from the roof. So you have to get on the roof. So if it's a job that you got to go up higher, you're gonna charge more. Every job is different. The difficulties that you have to encounter to be able to get on every job is different. But you could make upwards of $2,000 or maybe even more per job doing that.
Okay.
Yep.
Like you said, it'd be different aspects that come with each job, but some jobs you may be able to finish the job in a day or two and make $2,000.
Yeah, you may have some jobs that only take a few hours.
Okay.
If you got some customers that you clean them regularly, like I said, you got some restaurants, just depending on what they're cooking and how they're cooking it, they may have to get it done every other month.
Okay.
Or once every 3 months. So if you have a relationship with this business and you're doing their cleaning, you're doing it on a regular basis, of course, it's not going to take as long for you to do it if you're doing it routinely versus they haven't had it done all year and you got to come in and do it for the first time. So you may have some customers in regular rotation where you do them once a month, every other month. You come in, it might take you a couple of hours, you in and out.
Yes, that sounds like definitely something you could get them on a plan, a periodic plan with. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, same process and thinking with that. You want to enter, if you can, into a contractual agreement with them. You would sit down with them at the table, discuss the services that they need, discuss pricing, and then that's what I would do, or that's how I tend to do. We discuss pricing, and then if we could come to an agreement where I'm doing so many services as far as occurrences, like I may do 5. We can agree that I'm going to do this service for you 5 times. I'll give you a better price versus if we're just doing this one-time shot. So you'll have people to be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna need it to be done anyway. I got to get it done every other month. So I'm gonna need it done 6 times a year.
Okay.
So let me go ahead and jump on this pricing to be able to do it for the 6 times. And you just write up a simple written agreement between you and them. But ain't necessarily something that they avoid that you're gonna take them to court for, but it's just more so of them knowing in their mind that you sat down, had this agreement, it's in writing, and this is what we're doing. And and so doing it that way, you got this one customer that you got them locked in for 5 services or 6
Definitely.
services with the
Definitely.
example that I gave.
Yeah, it's good stuff. That's good stuff.
Mhm.
And if anybody watching want to sign up for a phone call with us, you can hit that link down below. We can talk about roofing, sales, contracting, or any other contracting that my brother Reese or myself knows. Make sure you click that link below to sign up with the appointment for us, and it'll be me or Reese, and we'll have an appointment with you, and we'll talk to you about anything that you want to know, anything that was covered in this video. But we just wanted to come on, talk to you guys for a few minutes, let you guys hear information about all the different contracting work that Reese does. And other than that, you can just reach out to us with any other questions. Reese, you got anything for them?
No, man, I don't. We appreciate whoever's tapped in. We appreciate you tapping in and look forward to more videos to come.